Are you feeling terrified when you look at the overall crypto markets at the moment, and are you even considering to sell all of your cryptocurrencies? In this video I'm going to show you where you should buy the dip. And guys, first of all, the SEC and their major crackdown are just giving us the signal that cryptocurrency is the money of the future. It's decentralized, honest and fair, and they're just losing grip from this fraudulent system that they've been running for ages. So let's go over to the news, but we're also going to find out why we saw this massive dump towards the downside and what we could expect within the next few days. And we're going to look at the charts of Bitcoin and Ethereum. But let's go over to the first news article. Binance lawyers allege SEC Chair Gensler offered to serve as advisor to crypto companies in 2019. According to the new filing from Binance lawyers, SEC Chair Gary Gensler offered to be an advisor to the crypto exchange in 2019. At the time, Gensler was teaching at MIT. Gensler has been cracking down on the crypto industry over the past years, and earlier this week sued Binance. So we can clearly see that there's a different agenda behind all of these doings from Gary Gensler, and that he's just evil and he's just trying to stop the crypto markets because, yes, first of all, they're scared that they're going to lose grip of the financial system because it's unfair, dishonest, and they're manipulating your money and your wealth. And Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency is here to revolutionize technology and to stop this fraudulent banking system. But why did we see this massive dump in the overall crypto markets? Yes, Robinhood will end support for 3 tokens named in SEC lawsuit. The company cited the SEC's action against Coinbase Binance in response for delisting, saying the lawsuits introduced a cloud of uncertainty around these tokens. So they actually said that they're going to force sell all of these crypto holdings from their users, which were named in the SEC lawsuit. This is just major fun because, first of all these allegations has to be proven in court, like we could also see with XRP and Ripple that have been in court for over 2 years, and there's still no certainty if it's a security or not. So this first of all has to be approved in court that it's really a security, and that's why we saw this major dump for most of the cryptocurrencies, because sure, all of these users went into Robinhood to sell all of their crypto holdings before they're going to be forced sell from the exchange. So we could see that a lot of liquidity went out of the market, and also Robinhood sold all of these coins which they held as a liquidity backing for all the user funds. But what is going to be really important is the coming week. Yes, we've got some very important data which will be released within this week. First of all, on Tuesday we can see that the US CPI data will be released and the Hinman documents become public. So first of all, what are the Hinman documents? The Hinman documents relate to a 2018 speech from former Securities and Exchange Commission Corporation Finance Division Director Bill Hinman, who essentially stated that Ether was not a security because the documents involved the SEC's internal discussion and deliberations around the speech. So this will be extremely interesting, what happened behind the scene and what did Bill Hinman say. And are we finally going to see that Gary Gensler is just manipulating the overall markets? We're going to find out exactly that. But what is also going to be interesting, which we're going to see within this week, is that Binance US hearing, and on Wednesday US PPI data and FOMC meeting. So are we going to get this next interest rate hike, or are we actually going to see a pivot from the Fed? And all of this major FUD from the SEC was just planned to bring the overall markets down, because if we're going to see a pivot from the Fed, we could expect a massive pump for all the risk on assets. So yes, maybe it is interesting what we're going to see on Wednesday from the FOMC meeting, but on Thursday we're also going to see the US jobless claims and US retail sales data. So yes, we could expect some major volatility within the markets, but let's go over to the charts to find out what we could expect. First of all, we're going to start on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. We can see something very bearish, and yes, the price movement closed under the 200 moving average on the weekly chart, and that is actually quite bearish because we tried to hold this level for quite a while, but we failed, and a weekly candle closed above this line. But is it going to tell us that yes, Bitcoin is going to dump and it's going to go all the way to $20,000 level? No. At the moment, we're seeing that this candle opened positive within this week. Sure, we've got some 6 days left until this candle closes and some major data that is going to be released. But if we're going to see that the price movement pumps back above the 200 moving average and that we're going to close a weekly candle above, this is still going to be bullish, and this is not going to tell us that Bitcoin is going to dump even lower. because with all this major FUD and all this uncertainty in the markets, we can see that Bitcoin is still holding this major support in between the $25,800 level and all the way back down to the levels of $25,350, where we saw that the price movement bounced exactly in these levels. But let's go down on the daily chart. And on the daily chart, yes, we can see that the price movement is still within this downwards channel, and we can see that we bounced exactly in these levels and that we have formed a double bottom. So does this mean that we're going to come all the way back up? First of all, this major data that is going to be released within this week is going to cause a lot of volatility, and we could expect that the markets will go up and down, or even down and back up again. But guys, first of all, it is very important that you don't sell all of your crypto holdings. Yes, we saw a major dump within the markets, but this is just a major opportunity to dollar cost average into these coins, because yes, they're not going to go away, and this major crackdown is just giving us the signal that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies is the new technology, and it's going to be the money of the future because it's honest and transparent. And what is also very important, that cryptocurrencies isn't just about the US, it is global. And that's why, guys, dollar cost average into these coins. But let's go back to Bitcoin. And yes, we can see a lot of volatility within this week. But what is going to be really important, that Bitcoin stays in this major support box. And we could even come down all the way back down into these levels, because we can see here's a lot of resistance that will turn into support. And I think if we're going to get some more FUD within the markets, that Bitcoin will bounce off in the support line, and that this will be our worst case scenario. But with all this FUD in the markets, and the market just briefly dumped after this massive move towards the upside, I would just lean back, dollar cost average, and just stay calm. But let's go on the lower time frames to find out what we could expect within the immediate short term. And yes, on the 4-hour chart, we saw this major crackdown from the SEC and also against Coinbase and Binance, and we saw this dump. The price pumped back up, we got into this major resistance zone, and we saw this downwards trend for Bitcoin forming lower highs, which is of course bearish. But we saw that the price came all the way back into these regions and we didn't form a lower low, which is actually quite bullish. And we can see that the price movement didn't even reach the top of this trend. So what is going to be first of all bullish, which might tell us that yes, Bitcoin is going to reclaim this $28,000 level. Yes, the price movement has to form higher highs and also higher lows, that we could expect this major move towards the upside. But I think we're going to see a lot of volatility within the markets. We really have to be careful what we're going to see on Wednesday from the FOMC meeting, because this is really going to drive the markets. So guys, if you like these updates, make sure to smash up the like button and subscribe, because this will also motivate me to bring you even more content, and it supports the channel. So let's go over to Ethereum, and we can see Ethereum also lost this major important trend line that we have been holding for quite a while, and we saw this bounce. And after this major news, we just saw that the overall crypto market and Ethereum lost this major important levels, and we came all the way back down to the bottom of the support, and we can clearly see that we perfectly bounced off from the support. So what does it mean? Are we going to see this consolidation and this pump even higher? First of all, what is going to be very important is that we're going to hold this level, and that we're going to find out what we could expect within this week, because yes, the markets will really be volatile. But what is going to happen with all of the altcoins? Let's go over to the Bitcoin dominance. And yes, we were talking about if we see this dump all the way back down, that we could expect a major altcoin season. Because why? The Bitcoin dominance is telling us how much in the overall crypto market is divided into Bitcoin and the other altcoins. So yes, if we're going to see that Bitcoin came all the way back up to the level of 50%, so a 50% Bitcoin dominance, this just tells us that 50% of all the cryptocurrencies that are being held in the markets are held in Bitcoin. So a lot of people took profits and sold all of their altcoins, maybe even all of the Robinhood users, and converted it into Bitcoin. And that's why we could see that yes, the dominance of Bitcoin went up, and that of course gives us the signal that the altcoins are bleeding. But what could we expect? Yes, maybe we're going to see a pump even higher to the 51% level. But guys, after this major crackdown, and if all the people had calmed down, we could expect that yes, a lot of people will use this opportunity to buy the dip on the altcoins, and we could expect that the Bitcoin dominance will turn around and that the altcoins are going to see a major pump priced in Bitcoin, but this of course is also going to drag the altcoin price priced in US dollars up. So guys, yes, use this opportunity, dollar cost average, and we're going to see each other in the next video, as I'm always going to keep you updated. So make sure to be in my free Telegram group and be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.